All right, so welcome to this video specifically for Claygent. So again, I talked about Claygent a bit. I even showed you a prompt in one of the previous videos, but in this I want to break down how Claygent works. As I mentioned previously, Claygent is simply an online assistant that has the capabilities to search the entire internet. It has the ability to use the internet and grab the information that you're looking for, whether it is anything. There are like millions of use cases that I cannot talk about in this video, but whatever information that you want to search for on the internet that previously a BDR, SDR, or like a contractor that you used to hire, like a freelancer that you used to hire from Upwork to do the research for you manually by visiting each website, finding, you can do that with Claygent. Like it's going to automate the entire manual, tedious task that you used to do. So in this kind of video, I'm going to show you a couple of Claygent prompts to give you ideas. Of course, I'm not going to make a Claygent prompt from scratch, but this video is going to show you some ideas that you can implement, and it'll give you a lot more. It'll open up a new kind of Claygent world to you. If you would be making a new clay table, then you'd immediately think, okay, I can do this with Claygent. I can get this information, so it's not hard. This is the goal for this video. So you can make your own decisions and you can make your own kind of Claygent prompts if you think they make sense. So the first thing, Claygent. When you search for enrichment, you'll type in Claygent to get this Claygent in here. And if you use content creation, manipulation, and categorization, and it says useful most hours does not have access to the internet, this is what we've used up until now in the previous video, OpenAI. This web research Claygent is Claygent, right? Have access to the internet and you can create and analyze websites or any other information. Now, there are multiple Claygent. This is Helium, Neon, Argon. I would highly recommend that you go for Neon or Argon and do not use your OpenAI key in this. Use Clay credits because I've tested it on like maybe 100 or some rows, but Claygent's credits are way better than using your own key. I don't even think Argon you can connect, but maybe. But yeah, use Neon or Argon. For most tasks, Neon would work well, but for very complex tasks, like where you 6, 7, 8 different steps, then you can use Argon, right? Let's show you a couple of Claygent prompts so you can get a lot more ideas like what you can do. So in this kind of prompt, I'm not going to dive deeper into the specific kind of client case, but I'm going to go into what was the main task that I wanted to perform. So we were reaching out to very specific kind of people where they actually were part of like films or movies, or they were like producing this stuff, like they were part of the team. So we wanted to write a prompt which would go out to the internet, find out which project, which like movie, which season, which game this person has been involved in producing and stuff like that. So recent production projects. So if you read this prompt, it's very detailed. And again, I've had one of my team members use use OpenAI to write this. So it says you're an expert project researcher specializing in identifying recent production projects led by individuals. So firstly, I'm giving it like a system prompt, like a personality, like you are this person, you are this. Now your task is to thoroughly examine specified information sources to identify the most recent project they're involved in, and blah 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 blah, and all this stuff. And this is really important. If you tell it, like, take your time, cost is not an issue, but I want you to take as many steps as possible, find me accurate information. So you will see it would take its time to try and find that information for you. And I'm telling it perform additional searches, check, and then we're giving it step-by-step instructions. So the first thing you need to do is go to the LinkedIn profile and check all this stuff. And again, it's one really important thing. So it cannot log into websites for you. So if you tell it like go to YouTube and log in with this email, that it cannot do. It can go to LinkedIn, and what LinkedIn has public data, so it can get that data from there, right? YouTube has, you don't have to sign into YouTube to check something or stuff like that. But if it's behind like a password protected screen, then it cannot do that. Now it like up until now, I'm recording this video on 5th of December 2024. Right now it cannot do that, but maybe in the future it can, and that's going to change the game. Look for stuff on their LinkedIn, then I'm telling it to go to this company's website and then look for it there. Then I'm telling it to do a Google search and document requirement. I'm telling it to give me these results, like project title only, nothing else. And then it's going out and it's finding this information. So it's finding different stuff that they've been involved in, different like whatever they're involved in, right? Games and stuff, which we can use. Like, hey, I saw that you were involved in this. It was a great kind of stuff. Maybe we can even, another idea I'm getting while making this is I can also tell it to tell me if it's a movie, it's a game, it's a season, when was it released, what were they doing in it, and like were they in the production team or whatever. So we can also do something like this here. Okay, and each time Claygent would run, it would also give you a reasoning, and which is extremely important for you to understand how the outputs are. And you can also add this as a separate column to maybe run an OpenAI prompt on it, or also you can see the confidence, which is how confident it is that it's an accurate answer. It could be medium, high, very high, low. So you don't want to trust low. But here it says it found this information from the LinkedIn profile, and on the LinkedIn profile, it says that she's currently working as XYZ in XYZ. And same thing for, let's say, Mayfair Witches. It's on the LinkedIn profile, right? The most recent version, which premiered in October, this is confirmed through his LinkedIn profile. Again, sometimes it'll be website, sometimes it'll be LinkedIn, sometimes it'll be from Google. So this is the power of Claygent. So you can pretty much get anything on a person or on a company. Now let's look at another prompt. So in this prompt, I'm doing something very similar to what I was doing. I talked about in the OpenAI or AI enrichment previous video in this course. So what I was doing is I was reading the LinkedIn description, and based on the LinkedIn description, I was asking it to tell me if they are in the finance space in a yes or no. But now, since we were not sure what, and this could apply to any specific use case, like your imagination is the only limit, like your creativity. What it's doing now is, instead of just reading the LinkedIn description, it's visiting their website in real time, reading all those pages, including all the pages that I'm telling it. And then based on after reading the pages, then it's coming up with the information. Are they in any of those kind of, do they play in any of those areas? Are they in accounting, taxes, payroll, finance, or anything? So if you say it's no, it's also going to give us a reasoning. So maybe a use case for it could be, we want to run through a couple of tech or SaaS companies to see, are they actually selling like a specific product? Who is selling environmental friendly products, right? So it could visit the website, check that. Who is donating? Who has taken initiatives in that, or something like that? So there are multiple things you could do. Visit the website, visit the internet, visit Google, visit internet articles, visit directories in real time, grab that information, get it in Clay, even add them separately in separate columns to do the job for you. And how you'd add them into separate columns, let me see if I can show you an example. So this is an example of what we would discuss, like tier 1, tier 2. So essentially what we are doing here is we are giving it, again, a personality. Like, you are an expert BDR. Your job is to analyze LinkedIn profiles, not just the data that we have, but visit the profile. It could have been done with just OpenAI, but I'm just showing you like a use case, but you can implement it here. But what you need to understand is, if you can get that data in Clay, inside Clay, all that data, like summary, about, section, whatever, then you don't need to use Claygent, because you already can use OpenAI. It doesn't have to search the internet. It only has to search the internet if the data is not in Clay already. Because if it's in Clay, AI can do its magic. If it's not in Clay, it also has to search for that on the internet. I hope you get my point. So what it's doing is, I don't exactly remember, but let's read it together. But what it's doing is, it's going to the LinkedIn profile. It's checking if they are an ICB fit, if they are like in a sales leadership position at a specific company. Then it's also checking which department are they leading, because in big companies like Cisco, they have multiple kind of departments. And then it's getting us like some more details. So I'm giving it, like, it's a very detailed prompt. Like, at the end, it's telling me, are they an ICB fit? Yes or no. What is the contact tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? I'm telling it like what is tier 1, tier 2, which business unit are they leading, and then I'm giving it example output and all that stuff. So now if you see, it's outputting. Okay, and I did not show you the main info, which I wanted to show you. And now, how do you get data in different kind of columns? I don't know why we didn't do JSON schema, but you can do JSON schema, and it would already create like 3 for you. Let's see. If not, then you can do it yourself. So let's go to fields. If you see this, it already created. Is ICP yes or no? Contact tier 1, tier 2, non-ICP, business unit. So you would just come in here, click on JSON, click on generate from prompt. It'll already create all those 3. Previously, it wasn't there, I think. Then you had to manually do it. And I don't know why we don't have the output description. But yeah, the business unit, are they leading or not, if unable to determine. Okay. Now what it would do is, it runs and it finds all that information. So you can add data into separate columns. That's what I'm trying to tell you, which I even mentioned previously. So this was this example. And full transparency, this was created by Yash from Clay. He is one of the best guys in like Claygent. He actually was the one who started making these Claygent first kind of initial videos. I know someone else made that. I'm forgetting the name, but the entire team is amazing. But this was created by Yash, and I'm just trying to show you, I've copied it as a template. I just want to show you, like, it can also find 10K reports, 10K summarizes, competition based on that. But you can read it. It's really amazing. So he has written that prompt. I think he took, so it's going to Google. It's searching all those databases, like even sec.gov. here, and then it's getting the information. So you see how detailed that prompt is, like step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and ABC in it. And also funding. We have like enrichment for funding. So if you see funding, total funding, we can find it funding, but we can also do it using like visiting multiple web pages like Crunchbase or PitchBook or different kind of. I'm sure there are others as well. LinkedIn also sometimes have that data in there if it's public data. So yeah, so you can create any prompt the way you want to. Another use case is, let's say you want to find decision makers, but you know that it's going to be really hard for you to find decision makers by let's say you try to find decision makers by doing find contacts at company or searching on LinkedIn, but you cannot find it. So here it's a very specific use case where it's like a company, or it's like a medical kind of lab that we found using Google search, which is a different use case, but I'm just telling you. But what we want to do is we wanted to find specific doctors in that kind of, not doctors, but pathologists, like the people that do all those cells, and they do all that. I'm not I'm not a medical guy, so I'm the worst person about it. But if you see, we are trying to find people who are in pathology, histopathology, and all that stuff, which would be in medical labs, academic medical centers, and similar entities, right? Now, we did not have the information on the web page. If you look on the web page, what we weren't able to find were like, which are the pathologists that works on Cornell, right? There may be 1 or 2 people that we were able to find, but what we wanted to do is we wanted Claygent to go out to the internet and find all the pathologists, histopathologists, or lab operators that work in this company, in this medical center or university or lab, and then get us that information along with, and we're using Argon, which is 3 credits per use. And we're also saying if insufficient data is fine, then you can find it like this and all that, like a lot of detailed information. So it's very detailed. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and then it's finding us all that information. So we have data like we have Gina, we have her email, we have her phone number, all that stuff. One thing we forgot to do, which now you know what you need to do, is you need to do the JSON generate from prompt, and then it'll output everything cleanly, as far as I know. If it doesn't, then you maybe need to rework your prompt or then do it manually. Essentially, what we needed to do, which we didn't do here because we were just testing it, is we wanted to add all that data in different columns. So let's say name would be in a different column, their phone, their email would be in a different column, their exact title, and all that stuff. This is what essentially we wanted to do, and we were able to do it. And we had no data. We weren't able to find on LinkedIn. You could try same thing with if you're doing local businesses, universities, or stuff that where it's hard to find data on LinkedIn. You can try this strategy, or you can try this strategy. Sorry, my mic got disconnected in the middle, and that's why the Loom ended. But I'm making another one and then pasting it to the one that you're watching. But essentially what I was saying is you can apply this idea to anywhere. Let's say you are trying to find information on a company on certain specific web pages and you want to automate that thing, you can do that. You are trying to find a specific information on a company after you have the domain, you can do that. On a person, you can do that. You want to search news articles, you want to search a specific directories, platforms where they have information that can be easily found, can be searched on, you can also do that. So yeah, your creativity is the only limit here. You can pretty much do anything with Claygent. And what I would highly recommend is if you want to also look into kind of the more advanced Claygent stuff, then you can follow one of the best kind of outbound experts on LinkedIn. There are a lot of people that are pushing out amazing content. I don't have the names right now, but I can probably link it in this mini course. But they post out some really amazing cool stuff weekly. So you will get ideas. It's all just about getting ideas. And then what you can do is once you get the idea, then you can try and see if you can apply that for your use case. How can you tailor that for your specific requirement? And you can do that. That was about it for Claygent. I'll see you in the next video.